Good morning, everyone. Today, inshallah, we will start our course today. It's about linear algebra, and we will start from scratch as much as possible. I will go with you with the main syllabus. There is a couple of slides that will take you around the course, the assessment system, how to study, how to gain the best of everything, inshallah. Then we will go step by step. Okay? The course code is 1311 and it's linear algebra by me. I'm Dr. Omar Salah, and I'm really very happy to be with you in this semester. Most of your course notes, references, old exams, some exercises, you will find them on Moodle. Unfortunately, for the time being, I still didn't have my Moodle account working. Hopefully you have yours. If you have yours, I will see what's in it after our lecture today, okay? Those are the couple of slides that I told you about. They have been sent to me. I've succeeded in contacting the group in Lisbon earlier this week, so we talked a lot about a lot of things, about the exams, the assessments, what they are expecting from you, how you should appear, or your answers, how it should be written. They will need you to write more. They will need to see if you got all the information right. So we will go through this step by step. First thing, as I told you previously, all the material, quizzes, midterms, exams, general announcements, you will find all of this on Moodle. The reason for this is, as I told you, you are a student of Nova in Lisbon. Just only you are existing in this campus in Cairo, which away from the main campus, but everything exactly will be the same. Okay, teams, once we start working together, if I need to make an announcement or anything, they will send it to me. I will try to send it to you if it was not on models, and I doubt that, but I will confirm it to you. If we need to take an extra lecture or something, we can work out something like this on Teams. Okay, for the WhatsApp group, I don't think we will need a WhatsApp group. But anyhow, you know me, you know our office. I will have office hours. You can come to me, whatever you need. If you have any questions or you want to review something with me, more than welcome. Just for the office hours, I will be sure of them by next week. Till the time being, my table in FCT, I didn't have it yet. So I need to control on Mondays and Wednesday, and I'm sorry, Monday and Wednesdays. Then I will tell you about my office hours and we can work something, okay? For the program, already we will go through vectors and the matrices, operation with matrices, starting from the definition of a matrix, the elements that enter a matrix, what's a matrix in general, how to deal with it, how to have an addition, subtraction, how to prove something related to matrices, why we are using them. We are using them in order to solve the system of equations. We will talk about that shortly. Amber's Gauss-Jordan elimination method. This is one of the tallest methods that's used with matrices. We will try, if possible, to be very good in it within this week. I will try to do so. Then we will have inverse of a matrix, linear transformation, length of input and output model. Also, we will go through it. Then for the second chapter, we will go through an abstraction a little bit, talking about the vector spaces, span, orthogonal complement, basis, coordinates, and all of this are in depth in linear algebra. Then you will have some knowledge about determinants, Laplace's theorem, probabilities of determinants, Cramer's rule. It's a very successful method. It has some disadvantages dealing with a system of equation, as usually the determinants are hard ones. The dimension or the number of equations, the number of unknowns is huge, so it's a little bit tricky. We will go through it at the time. How to do diagonalization, how to evaluate the eigenvalues and eigenvectors. We will go through that by the end of our course. Okay, perfect. For the assessment, which is really very important. This slide is really very important. You have to understand it very well. And also it will explain to you how the people want you to think and to react with all the course in general, how to study, how to get the best of it. First of all, the course is 100%, it's 40% classwork or semester work, then you will have 60% for the final exam.
The final exam 60%?
Yes, it goes like this. You will have 5% for 6 quizzes out of 8 quizzes. He will give you an opportunity to do 8 quizzes, all of them, it's like an MCQ type or so, and they will be found on Moodle for those quizzes. Each one of these quizzes, as I understood from the professors over there, it contains about 5 questions. I'm not really sure, but this is how they translated the idea for me. It will contain 3 of them about the work of this week, and 2 of them will depend on the work of the next week.
Next week?
Yes, sir. He needs you to read alone. He is counting on you, and he is trying to implement the ability that you will be able to read something that was not fed to you in lectures. So most of these quizzes will be composed of 2 components. Some of them, or some of these, will be the stuff that we will work together within the week, and the other 2 questions out of those will be related to the work of the next week. Especially they are uploading everything on Moodle, as I told you previously. So this is number 1. Number 2, there is a group work, and you will have a project, and it will have 5% of the semester work overall. Then you will have a midterm which contains, and it's going to be by the 12th of October, this is the first one, and it's going to be 15%. The second midterm is going to be by the 16th of November, and also it's going to be within 15%. Then you will have your final exam by the 16th of December. Hopefully we are not going to need
when will we end the year? And it's not close end. You don't know?
This is all the information that I have at the time. Okay? This is all the information that I have for the time.
I know
just take a photo for this, and it is recorded.
I know this is filmed and recorded, but can you get the first slide? I want to take a picture.
Yes. Here we go.
ده اللي علينا السمستر ده.
Yep. You don't have to.
هو كله
Omar, you don't have to.
I do have a
It's
question.
gonna be recorded, so you can.
What about the...
Omar, what's his name? Galal. I'm sorry.
Firas.
First, okay.
Okay. I do have a question though, concerning the programming section of the course.
Okay.
And we haven't yet mentioned that.
Okay. The program will be Python, and
Yeah.
we will go through it, inshallah, after we finish today. I will start to explain to you what's gonna happen with it and how to work out
Okay.
this project. Especially also, your project is
It's
gonna
Python.
depend on Python, okay? How to do the work, what they are hoping from you, remark. Each week, you should have 3 hours in contact together in lectures and tutorials and stuff like that. And they expecting you should have 3 other hours on your own.
Per week?
Those 3 hours, yes, per week. So if we consider that we are going to work 6 hours, 3 of them will be with us in the lectures, this lecture and the second one, and another 3 hours you should blend them. That's for your group study, for the project on Python, for studying, for solving exercises, stuff like that. This is how it should be in your mind. So it's like I will study 3 hours, I will attend for 3 hours, and I also will provoke myself and trying to work at least 3 hours per week. Okay, students have to prepare for classes. They want you to do that. They want you to, and this is why the quizzes that I talked to you about previously, it's a link between the work of this week and the coming. Finally, the project during the semester, احنا نبقى نتكلم فيه ان شاء الله next week. Okay. برضو the slide is really very nice. The people over there shared it with me. خلي بالك ان الامتي سبوتس اللي موجوده عندك، بص اللي بيفكر الامتي سبوتس دي هو مش هيعمل فيها اي حاجه والديسكاردد مش هيقدر يستفيد بشغل كتير. الامتي سبوتس او الوقت اللي فاضي عندك في اليوم طول ما انت موجود في الكليه take advantage from this. Let's bond together, try to do some work all together, and then you will be in a very good place.
في اوفيس
Boss,
hours صح؟
to this point, in order to get the best of everything, you will have to watch a segment of videos. Already there is videos on the model. They recorded from their lectures over there, which is a huge advantage. It doesn't exist in plenty of other modules or courses, but it is supported for SPE, so it's really very good. Number two, discuss and exercise in a group the problems that we will go through it, just to try to explore it by yourself, try to bond together, study together. This is gonna make your life easier. Take notes and bring questions to the class. I'm here for you. Okay? حضرتك اللي شفته ده خلاص انت يعني بتمنى انك تكون تخيلت الدنيا عامله ازاي، بالتالي انت اوير بيها اكتر مني.
بس مش كتير قوي
لا.
60% على الفاينل اكزام ده، حاسه يعني ده اكتر من نص الدرجه بتاعت يعني انا باجي الجامعه كل يوم من 9 كل عشان 60%
اوكي.
في الاخر.
انت صح. طيب في حاجات خلينا نتكلم فيها بعد الليكتشر، وان كان كلامنا فيها مش هيزود او يفيد لانها مش اوبشن. يعني الحاجات اللي احنا الدسكشن اللي احنا هنعمله في الجزء ده ومش اوبشنال، فدونت جو ثرو ات. ليه مش اوبشنال؟ لان ده السيستم بتاع الديجري اللي انت عايزها.
حاولت اعملها السنه
فما فيش فيه. اوكي. طيب تعالى بقى نبدا بسرعه عشان في حاجات كتير قوي عايز اقول لك. الجزء ده مشكلته really very simple but contains plenty of fragments from your background. We need to gather them all together. نجمعهم مع بعض هتلاقي الامور سهله. وهو بادئ بدايه حلوه. انا دايما برتب كتابي كده، يعني الكتاب بتاعي انا برتبه كده. بص اول حاجه هيبدا يكلمك as an introduction. السلايدز دي من الكتاب بتاعي. المين او الفكره الاساسيه a system of equation. يعني ايه system of equation؟ يعني it's like a group of equations that should be solved together. They are controlling something. Maybe prices of competing products, maybe a market equilibrium. You need to keep it with variable competing companies, and they have prices and they have offers, and you will have to compensate and get the practical or the most suitable price for each company of these companies in order to have a certain share from the market. So it's really a huge has a huge application in almost every field. Okay. طيب, methods of solving such a system of equations in STM in general, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, okay, is between two things: exact methods and numerical methods. The exact methods that we are going to speak about or talk about. The numerical, it's away from the scope of our course. The first of these exact methods, it will go through what's a system of equations. System of equations could be in this form. You will have certain value times x1 plus another value times x2 plus 4 times x3 plus 5 times x4 blah 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 till you reach the last unknown. It is written here in this part as a generalized form. So the number of unknowns x1, x2, x3 extended to reach xn. So you have n unknowns. And each equation is given the number of m, or m. So you have n equations. So the system consists of n equations, n variables. We will have a lot of ideas about this. This system of equation actually can be put simply on this form: a times x equal b, which is simply stand for a matrix number A times matrix X, which is a column matrix containing the unknowns that you want to determine, which is equal to another column matrix, which is B. The idea from all of this just simply came from this simple, very nice equation, which states that 3x equal 6. في حد ما يعرفش يحل؟ How to solve this problem? Isolate the unknown on one side and get all the numbers to the other side. Voila, you got the value that you are seeking for. It's a first degree equation in one variable. صح؟ طب الستبس كانت عامله ازاي مستر رامي؟ We multiplied both sides and okay, in the reciprocal of the coefficient matrix. We will multiply by the inverse of 3, which is gonna be 1 over 3 times 3 x, which is gonna equal to 1 over 3 times 6. Once you multiply any number by the inverse of this number, you will get the identity of multiplication, which is 1. So it will disappear. It's not disappearing, but it will lead to x. So now you isolated the unknown, and the result is gonna be
2.
which is the result of multiplying 1 over 3 times 6. Actually, you got the inverse of the coefficient, yes? And you multiply it in the result. And this is the main idea.
Wait.
This is the idea that hit someone thinking in the 17th century or in the 16th century. You should go through this and search through the history when matrices start from Gauss and even before it. دي الفكرة. واحد قاعد كده قال لك انا عندي ايه 3x equals 6 انا بجيب السولوشن ازاي؟ simply بجيب 1 over 3 times 3 it's gonna be 1. The other side is gonna be 6 times 1 over 3 so you will end up having 2. The result is okay. طيب why not doing this with a bunch of unknowns and a bunch of numbers? This is from where matrices came. Or the invented matrices. It starts from here. معايا رامي؟ خلاص. زي ما النمبرز احنا عرفنا ان احنا نعملهم هنعمل نفس الكلام بس مع مين؟ مع الماتريسيز. يبقى مهم for the matrices is to define them, know how to add them together, how to move them from left to right, how to make multiplication, yes, and of course how to get inverse. Remember that we succeeded in solving this equation by getting the inverse of 3 and multiply it on both sides. This is what we are going to do within this lecture, next week, and so on. Okay. خلاص انت دلوقتي عندك خلفيه كويسه قوي. بص على السيستم ده كده. Instead of writing equations separate than each other, we can write these equations on matrix form in this manner. I will gather all the coefficients of these unknowns and I will call them the coefficient matrix. All the unknowns, which is x1, x2, x blah blah blah, till you reach xn, it's gonna be in the unknown matrix. And the results b1, b2 up to bn, it's gonna be the other or the result matrix. So simply, instead of dealing with this shape, we succeeded in solving it into this form. يبقى بدل ما انا بتعامل مع كل دول مع بعض انا خليتهم بس حاجه ايه؟ بتيت اقدر اتعامل معاهم. Okay, perfect. Solution of linear system is an assignment to find the values of x1, x2, and x3. Solving this system of equations, you are in between 3 results. Either to have a unique solution, or no solution, or infinitely many number of solutions. If you're dealing with a system of equation, you will end up having a unique solution, which is exactly like this problem. 3x equals 6. The exact solution was x equal to 2, which is a unique value. If you try to use x negative 2, it's not going to be right. The left is not going to equal to right. If you try to change it in anyhow, it's not going to work. This is why they call it a unique solution. For infinitely many number of solutions, if you have an equation that will end up having 0 equals 0, which means every value of x will make the left-hand side equal to the right-hand side. In this case too, we will go through it. Down the road. A system has no solution, the system is consistent. Once you try to solve the system, you will end up having something that's not correct. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say that I have 2x plus 4, which is what I'm going to do is a simulation for a first degree equation in one variable and see the results that we are expecting from a system of equation. It's just a simulation. If I have 2x plus 4, which is equal to 2 of x plus 2. Anyone solve this problem?
Yes.
Anyone? Yes.
It will
go.
be the same.
Okay. So it's gonna be
Equal size.
2x plus 4 is gonna equal to 2x plus 4. So once you try to solve it as previously, you try to get the unknowns on one side and all the numbers to the other side. So you will have 2x minus 2x, which is gonna equal to 4 minus 4. You will end up having 0 equal 0. 0 equals 0 means you have infinite number of solutions. So if you get back to the main problem, if you insert x equal to 0 on both sides, it's going to be correct. If you insert x equal to 1 on both sides, it's going to be correct. If you insert x equal to negative 1 on both sides, برضو عمر هتلاقيه ايه؟ correct.
Yeah, for
طيب what if نفس البروبلم بالظبط وهعمل minor change. 2x plus 5 equal 2 of x plus 2. Anyone?
2x plus 4.
2x plus 5, which equal to 2x plus,
4.
try to isolate it. So it's gonna be 2x minus 2x, which is gonna equal to 4 minus 5, I believe.
No solution.
So you will have 0, which is supposed to equal 2, and that's impossible, which means this system is inconsistent. How 2x plus 4 should equal to 2x plus 5? It's not consistent from the start. The formulation of this problem is not correct. Rami, these equations at the time being, it will be given to you in order to solve them. But down the road in your application, in your life, you will try to formulate these equations. So if you did something wrong with the formulation, or from the data that you gathered from a market, from a survey, from a field, from whatever, these data, it's not compensating right, it will end up having an inconsistent system, and that you will have no solution. Okay? نفس اللي أنا قلته بالظبط goes with the matrices in case of infinitely many number of solution, no solution, it has a unique solution. It's the same way like. The way we deal with one number is the way we deal with a bunch of them. This is why we have rules for matrices, in order to control them and to be able to reach our aim. We are going to be successful in solving such a system of equations. Okay, let's see the coming slides. Before going further, I will need just some information. You already studied that before. The determinant of a matrix, which is a number I may need down the road while manipulating or evaluating some stuff. What do we mean about a determinant of a matrix? The value of the determinant is really very simple. There is a rule assigned to the matrices. I will go to the definition of a matrix shortly, but please take this part now and we will go through the definition in depth. There is a sign rule, an imaginary sign rule that's in your head, which states that we have positive, negative, then positive, negative. We move like zigzag for the sign rule. Look. موضوع الديترمنتس ده كان ممكن اجيبه سنه بس قلت لا خلاص انا اديهولك دلوقتي مثلا انت واخده قبل كده ثرو يور هاي سكول ولا شيء بس المهم ان انت تبقى تعرف. بص بالنسبه للساين رولز بتاعت اي ديترمنت ريلاتيف لماتريكس بيمشي بوزيتيف نيجاتيف بوزيتيف نيجاتيف بوزيتيف نيجاتيف بوزيتيف نيجاتيف بوزيتيف. بص بيمشي زجزاج معايا رامي؟ شايف الساين كونفرجن بتمشي زجزاج. Either in a row or in a column. You will never face two successive positive values or two successive negative values. Yes, this is the sign, the imaginary sign that you may need while you are evaluating a determinant. Also, there is another thing I want you to know about these signs. Each number of these numbers, each entry of a matrix, if I say 3, 2, 4, 1, 6, 0, 2, 111. This is called a square matrix. Why do we call it a square matrix? I will go to the types of matrices just shortly after all.
Equal rows and columns.
Yes, the number of rows equal the number of columns. Each matrix, it's determined by a dimension, which is simply in the number of rows times the number of its columns. Once the number of rows equal the number of columns, it's called the dimension of a matrix, and it reflects the number of rows that you're expecting to see and the number of columns that will exist in this matrix. All these entries are arranged in its places. تمام؟ كل رقم فيهم مترتب في مكانه بالظبط. فراس 3D الاوردر بتاعها 1 and 1.
Okay.
Which stands for first row, first column.
Okay.
This number is gonna be 1, 3. First row, third column. We all agreed that the first number is the number of the row. The second number is the number of the column assigned to this entry. So for 6, it's gonna be
2 and 2.
2, 2. Second row, second column. Remark, if you get the sum of these two numbers and it's an even number, the sign will be positive. If you get the sum of these two numbers and you will end up having an odd number, the sign will be negative. I don't like it that way. I like it to do it positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative in a zigzag. This is much easier, but just in case, it's adjusting well with the dimension.
I do have a
See?
question though.
This value is negative. Okay? This value stands for third row, second column. The sum is 5,
Five.
which is an odd number. يبقى إذا هنا الدايمنشن 3 و 2 odd number الساين بتاعته ايه؟ negative and so on.
I do have a question though. What if I'm working with a system of equations but their signs do not?
I didn't talk about a system of equation at the time being. I'm just talking about a determinant of a matrix.
I'm talking about
So
the
let's
sign,
not
positive, negative.
let's not go to a system of equation.
Yes.
We have a system of equation. Stop. I left it. I went to matrices, and then I want to just announce what's called a determinant relative to a matrix. معايا رامي؟ فاستنى شوية على موضوع السيستم اوف equation. طيب الساين رول دي انا اديتها لك ليه يا رامي؟
May I stand?
الساين رول انا اديتها لك عشان اقدر to evaluate لو انا حبيت a value of a determinant for a matrix 3 by 3 or 2 by 2. ده اللي انا هتكلم عليه ده. If I have a 2 by 2 matrix, can I get the value of its determinant? سهل. بص كده. I have a matrix which is 3, 2, 4, 1. This is called matrix A. The matrix A is simply 2 by 2, which means 2 rows, 2 columns. Can anyone find the value of the determinant of this matrix? Yes.
If I remember correctly, it was 3 plus 1 minus 4.
3 times 1, this is called the main diagonal
diagonal.
or the principal diagonal. So it's gonna be 3
Times 1.
times 1 minus,
4 times
because the value of
negative
4, which is negative. That's the sign rule that I gave you seconds ago. Minus 4 times 2, which is the secondary diagonal. This is called the main diagonal, the principal diagonal, the first diagonal. The other one, in the other direction, it's called the secondary diagonal, the secondary diagonal, or the second diagonal. Both of them work fine. Of course, 3 times 1 is going to be 3, 4 times 2 is going to be 8. So the difference between them is going to be negative 5. This is how we evaluate a value for a determinant.
I have a question.
Okay,
3 minus, so it will be 11.
3 times 1 minus 4 times 2.
Negative 4. Minus negative 4 times.
There is no negative here. The minus, you will add it.
Okay.
Okay?
Times.
So 3 times 1 minus from the low.
Okay.
4 times 1. 4 times 2. طيب بص بقى لو انا عندي كده مثلا عمر صح؟
طب
3 minus 1 2 plus 1 خلاص plus 1 ها try to evaluate it.
3 times 1
هيبقى 3 times 1
Minus.
minus
negative.
negative 1 times 2
طب هو احنا ليه مش بننزل نيجاتيف مع 2؟
يعني
بس ال 2
انا بنزل نيجاتيف مره واحده بس
مرة واحدة.
بس
طيب.
اوكي يبقى تاني once more بجيب this multiplication of the principal diagonal minus the secondary diagonal. This is for a 2 by 2. طيب if I have 3 by 3 something like this, there is a lot of ways to evaluate. The simplest of them is to use the cofactor method. الميثود اللي انا هوريها لك. طيب ازاي اقدر احسبها؟ بسيطه قوي. First of all choose a row. الناس بتختار اي رو يعجبك. الناس اتعودت to use the first row معايا. الفيرست رو كانت الساينز بتاعته ازاي؟ حد فاكر؟ Positive. نيجاتيف بوزيتيف.
ايوه
اعمل كده. هاجي على طول لو انا عايز تو ايفالويت ذس وان اروح قايل الكلام ده بيساوي. خليني امسح ده بس انا مش متاكد ان السكوب اوف ذا كاميرا getting all the white board.
جاي على مظبوط بس النص ده بس.
Okay. First of all, I will take 10. Remove the row and the column. So it's gonna be 10. Remove both of them, row and the column. Remove the row, remove the column. What's gonna be? 4, 6, 6, and 5. Same way like. What the second number?
wait
7. The first thing, I will try to expand using the first row. The first row starts with 10. Look at here.
okay
Look at this one.
ماشي
So the first number is 10. The sign is positive. So I put 10.
okay
Then I will eliminate the row and the column that
Okay.
contains 10.
and I take a
What's the remaining?
square matrix of 4 6 6 and 5
4, 6, 6, 5.
okay
That's exactly what you see.
تمام
In a similar manner, go to the second number, which is
7
the sign is
the sign is negative
negative of a 7. Remove the row and column.
so take
Oh.
take negative
Oh.
3 6 5 and
Negative
5
3, 6, 5, and 5. Once more. Negative 3, 6, 5, and 5. Do it once more for the last number.
0
What is the remaining number?
0
0. The sign is
plus
plus.
so plus square matrix
0
of
times
negative 3
whatever.
4 5 and 6
Remove the row and the column, which is gonna be
negative 3
negative 3 and 4,
and
then
6.
5 and 6. It's really very simple. What I did right now can be done with the second row. Exactly the same. معايا جميل؟
اه
But if I did it with the second row, I have to memorize the sign rule, which starts with negative,
second row starts
positive, negative.
يعني يبقى هتبدا
So it's gonna be negative of a negative 3, eliminate the row and the column 7, 0, 6, 5.
يبقى الفور تبقى بوزيتيف بقى مش نيجاتيف. لو مثلا قلنا نيجاتيف 3
الفور هيبقى بوزيتيف طبعا.
عادي عشان هو
هيبقى
بتبدأ.
بوزيتيف 4, remove the row and the column, what's remaining 10, 0, 5, and 5.
I do have a question. The sign rule does not take into record the size of the matrix. No matter the size is always positive, negative, positive, negative.
Yes.
Okay, always.
If you have 4 by 4, if you have 4
Even if it
rows,
was
4
not a square
columns,
matrix.
okay? If you have 4 by 4, 4 rows, 4 columns, the sign is gonna be positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, and so on.
Even if it was not a square matrix, though.
No, this will be evaluated just for the square matrices.
So the sign rule follows the square matrix only. Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
Yes. For using this manner in order to evaluate a determinant. Can you continue for us? طبعا. The first of them is gonna be, the last one is gonna be 0. Why the heck I'm gonna evaluate it? The first of them, 4 times 5, huh?
20
4 times 5 is 20, minus
6
36. All of them times negative 7. Open your bracket. Negative 3 times 5 minus 6 times 5. You are done. I evaluate it. صح؟
طلعت
You may need it down the road. To know if a system has a unique solution or so, you will need to know, for the time being, a little bit about determinants. It's not this much. We will continue knowledge about that at its part. Don't forget that we have a complete unit called the determinants. We'll go through their properties, how to use them, if you change a row instead of a row, a column instead of a column, all the details. But for the time being, this is very, very nice. Okay? واضحة؟ حلو، قشطة. كمل. نشوف السلايد اللي بعده. خلي بالك لغايه المره اللي جايه ان شاء الله زي ما احنا كاتبين بالظبط موجودين. انا بدات الفيرست رو، ده الاكثر شيوعا، ده الاكثر استخداما. بعد كده هتفهم انه ينفعك ان يبقى الرو اللي فيه زيروز اكتر. كل ما الرو يبقى فيه زيروز اكتر هيطلع لك حاجات اكتر. لكن دلوقتي احنا بس بنتدرب، ماشي؟ طبعا اللاست وان اهو، والفاليو بتاعتهم هتطلع 155 if you tried. اوكي، تعالوا نتكلم على حاجه اسمها ترانسبوز اوف ا ماتريكس، وبرده كل ده هتكلم عليه بديتيلز قوي داون ذا رود. يعني ايه ترانسبوز اوف ا ماتريكس؟ simply to change its rows to be columns and its columns to be rows. يبقى changing from rows to columns. It's very very simple. بص، the determinant 10, 7, 0, negative 3, 4 and 6, 5, 6, 5. I've changed the first row to be the first column. يعني مسكت بص اليدي ده كده الفيرست رو، رحت عامله كده. مجرد ما انزله كده النمبرز اللي موجوده في الكولمز تطلع مكانه. فيبقى على طول كده 10 7 0 بقى النمبرز دول نيجاتيف 3 and 5.
والباقي عادي.
سيم واي لايك اللي باقيين بتعكسوا بنفس الاسلوب. ما هو خلاص ده اتحكم، الارقام الكولمز بقت
ايوه ماشي، الكل اللي هو فيرست ده كده، والفور والسكس والسكس والفايف زي ما هم ثابتين.
لا كله انت بتريموف بتحركهم تبع ده. يعني ده بدل ما هو كده، بص عمر صح؟ بص يا عمر انا لفيته اهو، هيبقى نيجاتيف 3 4 and 5 I'm sorry 6. اللاست 1 بدل ما هو كده نزل بالوضع ده هيبقى 5 و6 و5 اهو 5 6 5. يعني انا بتشينج الفيرست رو تو بي ذا فيرست كولم، السكند الفيرست رو تو بي ذا فيرست كولم، السكند رو تو بي ذا سكند كولم.
الرو دايما بيجي الاول،
هو الرو الاولاني والباقيين هتلاقيهم كلهم
مع بعض.
تاني خلي بالك I'm changing the first row to be the first